Manchester United have officially hit rock bottom. After losing to Spurs in the Europa League and coming 15th in the Premier League, the club is in ruins. That's why Manchester United have appointed me, Keith Wankcheski, as their new director of football to work alongside Ruben Amorim. Now, over the next 5 seasons, I need to help Manchester United not only reach Premier League glory, but European supremacy. Now, during this career mode, we're going to try and be as realistic as possible. So no buying Mbappe for 150 million. And after meeting the board of directors, it has been made clear to me what the target is for the club. Over the next 5 seasons, they expect me to win over 7 trophies for Manchester United, this being at least 2 Premier Leagues and the Champions League. They also expect another European trophy in there, as well as winning the Carabao Cup and the FA Cup at least once. The targets are only small, so that's the target for the next 5 seasons. But what do we have to do for this season? This season, they want us to win one of the domestic trophies, either the FA Cup or the Carabao Cup, and to make sure that we have European football next year. This means we need to make sure we finish 7th or higher in the Premier League this year. This first season is going to be vital, and if we don't have the correct plan in place, we won't be able to build a strong foundation. So welcome to my 3-step plan for season 1. Step 1, remove the deadwood and the rot at the club. Step number 2, invest in proven signings. No more taking random risks. We need quality players that can do it in the Prem. And step 3 is invest in youth. We will do this by sending out our best youngsters out on loan while also buying some of the best kids in the world.
Good evening, Pete.
So step 1, let's get rid of the deadwood and rot at the club. Players like Christian Eriksen, Victor Lindelof, Tyler Fredrickson, Tom Heaton and Johnny Evans are all leaving the club as they are out of contract. And we've also managed to force through some player sales or people who are injured or just not getting game time, or more importantly, not good enough for Manchester United.
Get out! Out!
Luke Shaw moved on to PSG for 18.5 million, Tyrone Malacia to Nottingham Forest for 8.6, Mason Mount to Bournemouth for over 10, and Casemiro also to Nottingham Forest for 9 million. We've also managed to move on the freedom fighter, there's Jadon Sancho, somehow getting almost 35 million for this scam artist. So Jadon Sancho, it's good to see you go. Chelsea also thought it was a great idea to buy Antony for over 21 million. I don't know why they're buying all our bad players. And we've also managed to get rid of one of the worst players to ever put on a Manchester United shirt. Andre Onana leaves to Brighton, and good riddance. Let's go and sign a proper goalkeeper. We've been able to move on 130 million in deadwood sales. Add that to the starting budget of 100 million, means after taking off the little bit of tax they do, we have around 200 million to play with. Now, with step 1 being complete, it's time to move on to step 2. It's fair to say everyone's favorite part of career mode, getting those new transfers in.
This is where the fun begins.
Now, a player that will not shock you, as it's basically been here we go by Fabrizio, Matheus Cunha joins Manchester United for 62.5 million. With us also lacking in the goals department, I decided to strengthen it by buying another player we're strongly linked with in Liam Delap. I tried to get him for 30 million like his release clause, but Kieran McKenna was not budging, the cheeky bastard, and he pushed us to 32.5 million for him. And to replace Andre Onana, of course, we need to sign a new goalkeeper. Last time, a keeper from Spain did us wonders, so we thought we'd do it again by buying Joan Garcia from Espanyol. He kept them up basically from relegation, so 35 million for him, I think it's a bit of a bargain. Now, to complete step 2, we have another signing. This time, a Prem-proven left-back to help Dorgu grow. He had a stellar season last time out, so Ryan Aït-Nouri, welcome to Manchester United, costing us only 35 million. With step 2 being complete, spending over 165 million on transfers, time to go into step number 3. Let's develop some talent. Starting off with the talent we already have here at the club, we've sent out Alejandro Garnacho over to Inter Milan, as well as Ethan Wheatley and Harry Amas out on loan. We've also decided to pick up some more talent around Europe. If you can't get Jude Bellingham, you might as well get his brother. So for 12 million, we picked up Job. We've been linked with him strongly in the past, but I don't know how feasible it is. We're signing a Norwegian wonder kid called Sverre Halsen Nipan. I've got that one completely wrong.
You're a fucking idiot.
And spending 4.5 million on him completes step 3. Now, the transfer window hasn't actually ended, so we can still make some changes in case anything horrible happens at the start of the season. So how did I do, guys? Let me know in the comments down below if I made any mistakes. What players would you have bought and which ones would you have kept? Hopefully, I've not had any stinkers here. And with all that out of the way, the first game of the season is against Liverpool. A big showing here from the squad. be really good so we can see how we can set up for the season going ahead. However, it's not good news as Liverpool get an early goal and we go 1-0 down at Old Trafford. This is not a good start. And it only gets worse because they just keep scoring and scoring. And oh my God, how many goals have they scored? Is that 5? How are we 5-0 down at Old Trafford? The only good bit about this game is Cunha actually scores quite a good goal. So at least now United have some goal scoring opportunities. But a 5-1's not... Oh, they've made it 6. It's 7-1. It's 7-1.
Stop! He's already dead.
That could not have gone worse. I didn't realise that United could get any lower, but it turns out being rock bottom of the Premier League on -6 goal difference is as low as it gets. Christ, maybe my job's at risk already. Up next, we had a game against Burnley, which we did actually manage to get a 4-0 win from, so maybe it's not too bad. And up next, we have an EFL Cup game, also known as the Carabao Cup, something we need to go far in and potentially win in our first season. We have a nice easy game against Charlton. I don't think anything can go wrong. Oh my God, we've lost 2-0 to Charlton in the first round of the Carabao Cup. We needed to win that game. We put our full strength squad. How have we lost that? This is not a start to the season that we wanted to see here, lads. And it's not looking good here against Arsenal as they also score 4 goals against us. And we are really not looking good. Is this formation good enough? I don't think it is. And with conceding 11 goals over 2 games, I've decided we have to go back into the transfer window to buy another centre-back because I just don't think Harry Maguire is cutting it. We tried to go to Everton to get Gerard Branthwaite, who we managed to do a swap deal with Maguire and some cash, being in a very good deal. However, Gerard Branthwaite declined. We then tried to get Mark Gahey and Murillo, and they cost too much as well. We then went back to Sporting to try and get Inacio, but he's already been transferred to Spurs, and because we couldn't get him, we went for the next best option at Sporting, and we signed a brand new centre-back replacing Harry Maguire, big Ousmane Diomande. We may have overpaid the odds for this player, but I think in the long run, this is going to be a good transfer for Manchester United. And with that, the transfer window closes. Hopefully we've done enough to secure a good squad, although our problems only got worse because we ended up losing 3-0 to Spurs. And although we did get a 1-0 win against Everton, up next was a big one, the Manchester derby. Now, somehow Manchester City was 16th. Not sure how they're doing worse than us, but there you go. So this could be a great opportunity to get bragging rights over the noisy neighbours. However, of course, you know, it didn't start well with Omar Mamouche opening up the scoring for the citizens. And although we had some good opportunities, we just couldn't put it in the net. Liam Delap missing a close ranger, Cunha hitting the crossbar, and then Delap hitting the post yet again. The second goal was coming, but not from us as Man City went ahead to make it 2-0. But a glimmer of hope as Xerxes then makes it 2-1. So maybe we could get a result here. But in the 90th minute, Omar Mamouche runs through the defence and does a tidy finish to make it 3-1 Man City.
Bit physically sick, to be honest. I'm rapidly falling out of love with football.
And our problems only get worse as we now take on Chelsea and we lose 3-1 to them as well. This is not going well. Our transfer strategy has been wrong and something is going wrong at the club. To try and recover this awful situation, I called together the whole squad to sit them down and have a chat. I reminded them of their responsibilities they had to the club and the badge and to make sure they don't let the fans down. And this somehow actually worked as we went on quite a good winning streak, winning multiple games across the Premier League, picking up the odd loss and draw here and there, but we did recover a lot of points and position in the table. And after those run of games, we managed to move up to 9th in the Premier League, where we placed 8th Aston Villa in our next game. And we started off the game very well with Bruno Fernandes scoring a screamer from outside of the box. And it only got better with a lovely passing move to Bruno again to make us go 2-0 ahead, as in Arsenal, as Ollie Watkins got played through with a lovely finish. And then just for half time, Morgan Rogers got slotted through and put it right in the roof of the net to make it 2-2. And it only got worse as Ollie Watkins ran through our defence and scored with a great finish. The game there finishing 3-2. I thought we'd turned a leaf. We then went on to draw 2-2 with Wolves. 2 more points needlessly dropped. Our next game was against Bournemouth, where we managed to scrape through, only just winning 3-2 against the Cherries. And now it's the halfway point in the Premier League. We're currently 10th, which isn't as bad as it sounds. A win here or there, and we move all the way up to 5th or 4th. And let's have a quick look at the top goal scorer. Mamouche is ahead with Kai Havertz and Martinelli followed behind, and Havertz on the top of the assists. Arsenal are having a great season with Havertz and Martinelli carrying them so far. And on our end, this is how we look. Bruno Fernandes currently up top goal scorer with 10 goals and 1 assist, followed by Cunha with 7 goals, 6 assists, and Liam Delap with 6 goals and 1 assist. And now is a big game. After being knocked out of the Carabao Cup, the FA Cup is our last chance for a trophy. And now we're playing Crystal Palace, where we lose 3-2.
I prefer really not to speak. If I speak, I am in big trouble.
Oh my God. The board are not going to be happy with us. We now desperately need to make sure we get European football. And now we're at a moment which is almost inevitable. We've set up a meeting with Big Ange as they're interested in one of our players. And as Rashford was unable to get anywhere near those 10 goal involvements, we've decided to move him on. And Rashford will be playing for Spurs next season. It's sad to see him go, a boyhood player at the club. However, he wasn't cutting it before the season. We gave him an extra chance, and he still wasn't able to cut it at the club. So Marcus Rashford, thank you for your time, but thank you also for the 34 million. Fast forward a couple of weeks where you pick up results against Luton, Brentford, Brighton, and a draw against Forest. It's now time for another departure at the club. Rasmus Højlund was getting 0 game time, and although he scored against Brighton, that's where we're setting out on loan for 6 months to try and develop and get some more game time. And to replace that Rasmus and Rashford void, we went out on the market on deadline day to buy a brand new player. He's a Dutch winger. We've probably spent too much on him, but ladies and gentlemen, welcome Noah Lang to Manchester United for just under £30 million from PSV. Let's hope we got a good player here. And that'll be the last bit of transfer business we do as the transfer window shuts. Up next, we play Chelsea, who did beat us in the first leg. As Lapslot gets an amazing goal, silencing Stamford Bridge. Although Chelsea bite back quickly with a mistake from Joan Garcia, leading to an easy goal for Cucurella. And it didn't take long for Nicholas Jackson to extend the lead for Chelsea. However, we're not out of the fight yet as Liam Delap blasts another goal in, making it 2-2. But of course, it was inevitable. Cole Palmer does score to make it 3-2 Chelsea. That is sadly all she wrote, as we were unable to beat Chelsea this season. After that game, we get back-to-back wins against Bournemouth and Spurs before we have to take on Arsenal. Last time out, they beat us 4-0. Can we get some revenge on the Gunners? It didn't start off great with Martinelli scoring another goal, but before Saka then sticks it top bins as well. Havertz then plays in Martinelli, who then plays in Saka, and Arsenal make it 3-0, and it didn't take long for them to get a fourth goal of Odegaard scoring a long-range screamer. No wonder this team is top of the league, winning with ease. If anything, it's a harsh wake-up call as we are miles away from that top. And the big games don't end there, as it's time for the biggest game in Manchester, the Manchester Derby. Last time out, Manchester City beat us convincingly, but I think we won't let that happen here at Old Trafford. So can Wancheski outsmart Guardiola? But this first goal goes to City, where Kevin De Bruyne scores probably the goal of the season. Although let's look at Joan Garcia here. This man does not dive, and question marks over if he should be in goal. Liam Delap then scores an amazing equaliser to make it 1-1. We are still in this fight, but the second half beckons, and in comes Erling Haaland to give City the lead. And we're not finished yet, as we control most of the game. This amazing ball through to Liam Delap. Can he finish from this angle? Yes, he can. Hits the crossbar and in. We're still in this, and we want to win this game. But in the last minute of the game, in goes Haaland and he scores. United lose another big game, and we've lost to City twice. We are getting so close to winning these big games. This is what the difference is from the top and the bottom, and Pep beats me once again. We then bounce back from that derby defeat by picking up results at Everton, Burnley and Aston Villa before losing to Fulham. With 4 games left this season, this is how the table is looking. We're currently sitting in 6th, and we can still make Champions League football, but we need to win the next couple of games. And up first is a big one. We need to get revenge against Liverpool, as they embarrassed us at home. And we strike first as we get a goal and embarrass them. And not too after that, we then get a second goal, making it 2-0 United. And straight after that, Cunha goes through to make it 3-0 United. Although Liverpool come fighting back with McAllister scoring, but Liam Delap gets played through. It's 1-on-1. He doesn't miss these. 4-1 Manchester. Liverpool aren't quite finished yet, and they make it 4-2, but we finally get the last laugh as Amad Diallo scores at the back post, making it 5-2 Manchester United. We beat Slot redeeming ourselves from that 7-1 loss at the start of the season. And now the Champions League is totally in our hands because all we have to do is win these last couple of games. Up first is Newcastle, who we don't manage to beat. Up next is Crystal Palace, who knocked us out of the FA Cup. Will they knock us out of Champions League football? Yes, they will. We lose to Palace again.
Oh, I'm not having this. I'm not having this. No.
We just can't beat Palace this season. This means we go into the last game of the season, currently sat in 8th, and we play 7th West Ham. Whoever wins this game out of us goes into European football. So this is a must-win game for both of us. I had no clue it'd get down to the wire this badly. And we're lucky as the entire city of Manchester rallies behind us so we can get European football. But it's West Ham who go ahead first, but it's a good save by Yoan Garcia. Manchester then go forward, and it's a great goal by Captain Bruno. He's that European football for us. But West Ham come back fighting, but a long shot from distance doesn't scare the keeper. Then Liam Delap gets played through, and the near post gets beaten. Manchester United are going to Europe. Not before an amazing 1-2. Mainoo makes it 3. This at European football confirmed. 3-0 against West Ham. Delap then plays in Ahmad, who finishes it, making it 4-0. What a way to end the season. European football almost guaranteed now. And if that wasn't enough, Ahmad makes it 5. 5 goals in one half of football. United are cooking. And a nice little cherry on top, Ahmad makes it 6, completing his hat-trick. The first for the season for him. But West Ham get the last laugh, destroying our clean sheet. Something we really need to get a hold of this season. But we win 6-1. Ahmad gets the match ball. And United are going to Europe. It may only be the Conference League as we have missed out on the Europa League, but that was the goal, to get European football. And we finished the season in 7th. That's European football. Those 15 losses we have there is ugly. And if you're curious, West Ham won the FA Cup, Chelsea won the Carabao Cup, Tottenham won the Super Cup, and Inter Milan won the Champions League, where Arsenal only just lost on penalties. Real Betis won the Europa League, and Atalanta won the Conference League. The goal scorer of the season was Gabriel Martinelli, followed by Ollie Watkins. Top assist was Kai Havertz, followed by Martinelli. And our own personal stats, Cunha is our player of the season with 20 goals and 11 assists. Liam Delap gets his 17 goals and 5 assists. And Rasmus scoring a few goals away at Brighton's quite nice, so maybe Liam Delap has some competition next season. Now, if you have got to this part of the video, please make sure to like and subscribe. Comment down below if you enjoyed this video. I don't know if you can tell, but I've never made a career mid over before, so let me know if you want to see part 2 of this series. And anyway, up the bloody wang.